Okay, and here we are once again streaming another show. Hope everybody will enjoy. Seems okay here, seems okay here. I guess we're all right to go. So here goes. This is okay. Sorry guys. So hey, here we are once again in another live show, and with ice flavored water with ice, because it's kind of hot. We had 30 plus degrees Celsius for 2 days in a row. Today's about 27, around 80 Fahrenheit. So it's summertime here. Cheers everybody. Nice to have everyone aboard, and there's a nice chat room for everyone to join. If you have a Gmail account, you can chat with super fantastic people in here. So this is a live tech show, and we are at show number 81, and this is of course the live tech show every Tuesdays 3 p.m. Eastern Time, 1900 UTC, where we answer your tech questions. And you might say, where do you send your tech questions? Well, the first part of the show, I answer the tech questions that were sent to help@yourcomputers@gmail.com, the email. And after that, I will answer questions in the chat room. So if you have questions, save them for a little later. And hey everyone, welcome aboard this hot apartment right now, as I have air conditioning only in the bedroom for sleeping. But the rest of the house is rather in the summer conditions, and it's kind of hot. So hey everyone, and I've got something that will be probably good news for some of you. I will have another show next week. So next week, look forward for another tech show and another Windows Insider Hour. I've decided to extend it one more week before ending everything. So June 20th, next week, will be the last before I take my vacation. And we'll come back on August the 8th with the new formula for our show here. For those that were missing the From the Couch show on last Thursday, we had a power outage here. And so if I, first of all, I couldn't use any of my lighting systems. So that was kind of a problem already. Plus the fact that if I would have, I could have streamed it with the laptop on battery, but we would have had like an hour show, and that's not what I wanted. So I preferred just not doing it and postponing it for this week, because we had the power outage. Power came back, was about 6:15, 6:30 in the evening. Would have been almost okay for something later in the day, but I'd rather we thought let's do it next week. So from the couch for now. This one will not come back in August. Is on Thursday this week at 4 p.m. Eastern, 2000 hours UTC. So anyways, we will have another show next week, which will be the last week before I take my vacation. So hello everybody in the chat room, and you can send your questions at help@yourcomputers@gmail.com. I will answer your questions next week, and then we'll be back August the 8th with our kind of new revamped show. And with a different look also. You guys will see that when we come back actually. So of course, one of the things that is very helpful for me, and more than ever with crappy AdSense monetization lately on YouTube, donations. If you can spare a little something to help me out, really is much appreciated. Helps me go through, helps me continue in what I'm doing. And if you enjoy what I do, if I've helped you in any way, please consider a little something. Helps me a lot. You can become a patron at patreon.com/radioandcomputers. There you can set up a one-time donation, a donation every month automatically deducted. Just be careful the way you set it up, because someone didn't set it up right, and is mad at me, but shouldn't be mad at him for not checking it out right. So just be careful if you set it up right, so you give me what you want to give me, not like $1,000. And PayPal, the Yahoo email you see at the bottom of the screen here, where you can send me a one-time donation. What's cool with PayPal, no credit cards needed. You can actually set up a PayPal account and it can be deducted from your checking account. PayPal is a very safe way of sending whatever you want, and it's pretty cool. I want to thank everybody that have donated. You guys are great, and there's a lot of people that watch this show, a lot of people that watch a lot. It's kind of there's a lot of people that watch this show that don't send anything. I understand some of you can't, but you know what? I'm sure that some of you that are not donated and have been helped in a way might actually be, able to send a little something. Why not think about it? These shows cost money. Not on YouTube. People ask me, "Oh, it costs you money on going on YouTube?" No, but it costs money to pay that really high-speed internet access that I need for the show. It costs money in the fact that I take many hours of the week in creating videos, making this. Money doesn't magically appear anywhere, and basically what happens is I do take a lot of time during the week to do this, and if I do this, I don't work officially as a tech guy doing other jobs, so money ain't coming in. So thanks everybody that have donated, and why not think about it, please, if you haven't done so already. Okay, before we go here, just want to remind everybody, there's a Patch Tuesday today. So today being Patch Tuesday, it's Security Update Day. There's a bunch of security updates that have appeared around 1 p.m. Eastern, about 2 hours ago, 1700 UTC. So basically, those are security updates mostly, but there's some bug fixes. For those that are on Windows 10, there's some bug fixes through that. They've also sent some feature updates. And basically, that is how it is going to work. So you just update your system. It's not very long. I don't think it took me more than 5 or 10 minutes total to have it installed. So it's very, very easy. And I of course it's still a little early, but I've not seen any reports of problems yet with that update. So check it out. There's many bug fixes with with different parts of Windows 10, but there's also security fixes for Edge, security fixes for Internet Explorer. There's a Flash update, Flash Player update, security fix. There's a lot of kernel updates also in there. So the kernel updates, the basic code of Windows has some security flaws. Many critical flaws that are exploited. Critical means they know it's already exploited by bad guys somewhere. So just make sure that you update your systems. Are very important. Okay, we'll start with some of the first questions. Let me just take out the email that I forgot to open up. I forgot to open up the email. Here we go, and let's check it out. So okay, so here we go, and we'll answer a few questions about Cortana. Okay, so we have questions for Cortana coming from Frank, that is a regular contributor of questions, and So basically, the questions that Frank has to do with Cortana stuff. So first of all, you want to know, you've seen me talk and you've heard about Cortana devices like the Harman Kardon speaker thing. And you're wondering, what are Cortana devices available right now? Well, there's nothing much right now. What we know about Cortana devices, they will become available later this year. The Harman Kardon speaker is supposed to be here in the fall. What I'm scared of that speaker thing is that we still don't have a working demo. The last one seen was at the Build conference. They showed it. We know what it looks like. It wasn't working. Kind of weird, But this fall, there's a lot of things coming. So there's one from HP. There's, of course, Harman Kardon one. And I've heard that there's other ones that are also going to be here. You're asking questions about how Home Hub will work. Well, we have a little more of a thing that we know about Home Hub, and basically the Home Hub is going to be part your computer used as a central device where you can actually, like if you want a Alexa or an Amazon, Dot or whatever device that it will be autonomous. So your computer will act as a device where you can ask it vocal things and do and issue commands vocally to it. But what we now know is also it will interact with Internet of Things devices. So it's interesting to see that how slowly it's coming up, and it's supposed to be part of the Fall Creators Update. And up to now, that's what we think. Any Cortana improvements for Fall Creators Update? Lots of changes to Cortana coming. It will not be the same as it is now, possibly in the Fall Creators Update. Once again, we think they're kind of in a rewrite of Cortana, trying to change Cortana into something more interesting. So it's like we're at Cortana 1.0 right now, and it would seem that if things go the way they continue, in September at the Fall Creators Update, we will be in Cortana 2.0 mode, where it's going to be different. It's not going to show up in the same way in your PC. It's supposed to be much more interesting, will be more conversational. What does that mean? Well, you have a new friend in your PC or something. But there's going to be changes. They want to take out the Cortana from the taskbar that we see right now, send it to the system tray on the bottom right instead. I don't know if that's a good thing or not, but we know that changes are coming. Major changes to Cortana are coming. And you're wondering how Cortana can respond to a command. How does it work? And does it always require internet? Well, like Siri, like Google Voice, like every device, like Alexa on Amazon devices, it works when it's connected because it is something that listens to you. And you have one last question that tends to security with that. I gotta say, you're right when you talk about the fact that security is Cortana and all these assistants are working on a very fine line of our privacy versus the usability of technology. But of course, Cortana needs to listen to you, needs to have access to stuff when you actually want it to work correctly. So of course, when you speak to Cortana, what you say is sent to Microsoft and analyzed, and then the reply comes back to Cortana. And a lot of people are saying, well, yeah, but okay, so they're listening in on what we say. Not exactly, because the way that they do it, it's kind of encrypted. It's kind of in a way that they can't really know what computer it came from. So it's, when you do something with Cortana, your request at Microsoft is technically anonymous. Now, whoever and whatever you think about that is your, is your own idea. I do believe that it is pretty much anonymous. I do believe that Microsoft does not have anything special, basically, to any information that she gathers that Microsoft would want to keep or anything. But the thing is everybody is scared of Cortana and of these assistants. Of course, because your voice commands are sent. Google Voice, for example. If you have a Google Voice device, you can actually go to your Gmail account and see what last commands are recorded. So it would seem that like Google Voice listens all the time, but and there's also the other thing that when somebody tells me, how can you be sure that they're not listening in and using our information? There's no information that's useful in there. Who cares about when you want to ask the weather or something? So they don't. Imagine the millions and millions and millions of requests a day that Cortana will be sending out. That's not even interesting, because it's too much to really process usefully. If you want to spy on somebody, there's so many better ways to spy than using Cortana or stuff like that. So it doesn't matter. And I don't think, and I'm sure Microsoft doesn't really care. So, but it is. There's nothing there. There's no useful information, and there would be no advantage for a company, anyways, to really spy on us and do things, because they who cares what somebody does with his computer, really. It doesn't really matter. And it's for sure one of the things you got to understand is we're not there, we don't see what's happening. It doesn't, we don't really know. We got to accept that these companies are probably these companies are there to help us out with different systems and stuff, but we gotta hope that these companies are careful and use our data. And I personally am not one of those conspiracy theorists, so I do not think that it's useful for anybody, and I do not think that they take the time to do anything with that. They're just trying to help us out with different assistants and stuff. But of course, we gotta just hope that that's what they're doing, because we have no other way. There's no way we can check it out. And all of these things all walk on a very thin line. They all walk on a thin line where privacy versus features. Where do you stop on that line? And that line is very thin before you just cross over to, okay, they're snooping on me. And most of the conspiracy and most of the people that I see telling me, oh yeah, right. No, you're wrong. They're spying on us. Well, they don't have any proof of that, first of all, and they always blabber with the same things. Yeah, but look in the user agreement, and why Cortana wants to see my email. That's proof that they're spying on me. Well, Cortana needs to see your email if you want Cortana to work, to be able to send you notifications of email, to be able to say, oh, in your email you've got your tickets for that event on Friday, but you already have an appointment with somebody else. There's a problem here. How the hell do you want Cortana to know that if she can't look through your stuff? That's That's the thing. And we gotta hope that everything is all right. Reactions and comments, because I have reactions and comments of all sorts of things about what's happening. So after many comments, after many of you are saying, oh, you know what? Basically, you know, you're going on vacation, it's going to be long, and, you know, I will miss your shows and everything. And it's cool, you know, it's cool to have everybody to tell me that, and it's really nice. So, you know, after the comments and everything, and I was looking at my schedule and how things are happening right now. So, today was supposed to be the last day of the tech show before I take a vacation. So I decided to add next Tuesday. So next Tuesday, June the 20th, will be the last tech show for now until we come back on August the 8th, 2017 with our new format. Also, June 20th next week, we'll have another Windows Insider Hour. So next week is the last week where I will do shows before I take my summer break. And of course, hope you guys will enjoy that little added show there. What from the couch? What happened? I got a lot of emails, a lot of people saying, "Hey, what happens?" Is like, you know, we're waiting for from the couch. Power outage. I just couldn't. I just couldn't do the show. Power outage. What happened here is there was a car that actually crashed at a utility pole just at the corner of the street. I had heard the bang, but I was not making the you know, 1 + 1. I was not thinking, well, the bang, which I did think was a car, and that it crashed into the utility pole. And because they had to change it, and they didn't want to take any chances, they cut out the power to just a little chunk. So I didn't have power, but like 4 houses down, they were there, you know, and the other side of the street and that side of the street, they all had power. They all had power. So basically, the only places without the electricity was like the, you know, 4 first houses of this side of the street, and so basically, it's really, you know, it was kind of interesting, you know. And I here when we have a power outage, it usually lasts 10 minutes. You know, we never have power outages here. So when when the power came out at 2 p.m., around 2 p.m., I thought, you know, at 2:15 everything's going to be over. But then came 3 p.m. and I was like, okay, something's. Am I going to have power for the show? And I needed to let Gabriel know, you know, are you coming over or not? Because I don't know. And when I saw at the corner street that the Hydro guys were there, I went for a walk and I asked them, and they said, oh, we've got to change this. We don't think the power's going to be back before about 7 or 8 p.m. tonight. So I was like, oh, okay, so it's going to be that long. So I texted Gabriel and I told him, hey, no from the couch today. No electricity. Can't really do it. So it's going to be this week, this Thursday, 4 p.m. for From the Couch for everybody that missed it out. Now, there might be a little surprise on Thursday because it is not impossible that Gabriel might not be here. It's possible he might have to work. If such, I will still make From the Couch by myself alone on Thursday. So I don't know yet. He's supposed to let me know probably tomorrow, even maybe Thursday morning. So it's going to be, of course, the last for the From the Couch, the last one for a while, because, you know, Gabriel will be working. So I don't think it's going to come back. If it does, it will come back at some point. Okay, observations and comments, and part of these observations and comments are derived from a post by Stephen Mail that has many little thoughts before the question, before the vacation thing. And he says, hey Jill and Paul the cat, and he says, can we call him our cat since he appears to be the mascot? And who doesn't love cats? That's true. And if you guys should see him right now. He's in the, okay, I gotta show you guys what he looks like, just to show you guys quickly, because it's just too cute. So here's Paul the cat doing his nap. And sorry guys, I'm just gonna show you guys a little bit more. Here goes. Here's Paul the cat. Look at that, guys. Look at Paul the cat. Oh, he was doing his nap, so now he's here we go. Here's the guy. Here's the guy. Nice little kitty. So that's the cat for you. So sorry about that little moment here, but I know that a lot of you love Paul the cat. So if he doesn't come up and say hi, at least you guys would have seen him do his little nap thing, because it's just so cute to see Paul the cat do his nap. So anyways, okay. Paul is passed out, yep. Okay, Stephen has many observations of all sorts concerning different things that we'll go through. First of all, he says, I may not agree, but that errand build that was sent out last week, things like that, should have been caught before it was sent out. If I was in charge, Microsoft on a SAR card would have been given her walking papers. What do you think? So he says, do you think her predecessor was better? It was certainly nice of you to discuss her on the show, as she is head of the insider team for the moment. The errand build is her fault since she is in charge. You disagree, don't you? I do disagree, because it's more complicated than that. The errand build is not her fault, as for her, the build that was supposed to come out was 16203, which was demonstrated with her picture and the hexadecimal numbers on the whiteboard. What happened is much more complex. What happened with the build is apparently there was a glitch. Now, one of the things that a lot of people don't know is, okay, when we have a build, of Windows, they at the insider team have several builds running at the same time. So somebody's running 16.205, somebody's running 16.215, or somebody's running 16.221. There are different builds running at the same time because there are different things and issues, and sometimes they'll issue a 16.224 and they'll look at it and say, well, that's not quite okay. We'll send the one that we had here, 16.219. We'll continue working on this one. And it could be sometimes kind of a rollback. They might be running 16, for example, we have 16.215 right now. They're still running some of the older ones, because sometimes there are things they want to test out and maybe roll back from. And it's very, very complex thing. That, counting the fact that they have not just one Windows, they got to send out a Pro version, a Home version, an Enterprise version. They got to run and send out 32 bits and 64 bits. They've got to do tons of things. The insider team is also checking out code for the cumulative updates and all sorts of things. So multiple builds are running and being used at the same time. And the process in which it's being sent out is automated. So you press the button and the one that they decide is running out. So what happened there is when they announced the build, by accident, 16.212 was released, which was one of the latest ones they were working on, but that was very, very buggy, instead of 16.203. And that had nothing to do with somebody pressing the wrong button. It had something to do with a glitch that happened within the system. So when they pressed, it said, oh shit, the wrong build's going out. and that was something inside the code, and they actually made several changes to that for that not to happen again. But it is a major goof, that's for sure. It's like the first thing you think about is okay, what happened there, and I can't imagine, and I can't think that, every time that I think about that goof off, and the fact that Donna Sarkar had 1 year, exactly 1 year on that day, at the Insider team, and somebody mentioned, I thought they had too much alcohol or something. I got to say, it crossed my mind at some point, but it's more complex than that. And so you can't really totally, you can't say, well, Donna Sarkar's fault. But I think you can say that at the internal way of Microsoft doing things, and actually I already have Paul Tarot of the Tarot.com website talk about that, how it's totally crazy inside your the Microsoft team, that it's really very, very complex thing. And even Paul Tarot was saying how it's too complex. There's too many things going on at the same time, and it needs to be simplified. As for Donna Sarkar versus sorry guys, but Tim and Patrick Manny are making me laugh here. So I lost my thought of mine now. Okay. As for the difference between Gabriel Hall, Donna Sarkar, I will, Tim. I will leave you guys alone. The thing is, one of the I don't know. It's very difficult. It's very difficult to pinpoint. Somebody is better than another in a big team, in a big company like Microsoft. Gabriel Hall was great at what he did. It was different. Now, I was actually thinking of something, which was the anniversary update, and I was thinking of, okay, it's been 1 year, and the anniversary update was shipped somewhere in what was it, August of last year. And what made me realize here is that Donna Sarkar, there's two things that are actually, I would call them major goof off. And that is intriguing. One of the first that I've got to say was very, very inexcusable at the head of that team. I mean, but Gabriel Hall could be partly responsible for that. When the anniversary update came out, we were at the beginning of Donna Sarkar as head of Insider, and the broken things like the camera that I use, which is one of the most popular webcams for doing podcasts, the Kindle, which is one of the most popular devices for reading books, that didn't work on anniversary update as it was released. I have to say that made me think a little bit about why the hell do the most popular things. We're not talking about some obscure device made in China that has some kind of bad driver because some Chinese doesn't know how to program it correctly. We're talking about a well-known device, a few well-known devices, used a lot, and how I can't understand why that could not have been seen. I don't understand why, because I'm pretty sure somebody somewhere must have sent a feedback saying, hey, my camera is broken in these builds. And I'm sure there was not at least more than one people that reported that. And the Kindle thing made me think of there's something wrong at the Insider team, because it's impossible that major devices like that are not fixed. So I don't know. It's that's kind of a goof off. Also, now, how long and how much data did they have before? That's the thing, okay? So Anniversary Update came out, and Donna Sarkar was head of Insider team for what? About 2 months? Is it Donna Sarkar, or is it, is it just the way the Insider team is working that something's wrong, and it's much wider than just saying one person is the problem here. So I'm not I'm not at Microsoft, and I don't see how it's working inside the Insider team. But sometimes when I see things like that, I'd like to see how the hell, okay, can I just be there and look at what you guys are doing and see what's happening? That's mostly what I want to say. Maybe that's why also, okay, one thing has changed that is, that changed at the end of the Gabriel Hall's Insider team. They started rushing the builds faster to us in the fast ring. So basically what happens is the builds were much longer. We 3 weeks like we just had was a normal wait for most of Gabriel Hall's Insider times. Maybe they took a little more time checking out things before sending out. Yet, if I look at the amount of Insider builds that had problems versus Insider builds that had problems at Gabriel Hall, I had a lot of problems when Gabriel Hall was there also. So, it's, I don't know, it's very interesting, and it's a question that's very, very difficult to answer, really. And I for one do not think Donna Sarkar has that much to do with it. I think there's, Microsoft has a huge issue that is still there today. All the teams inside Microsoft that are in different projects hate each other, and they don't talk with each other really. And if I was CEO, I can bet you one thing: all these dumbass would sit together and say, okay, if you can't talk to that guy, you're fired. Because here we want to have a team, and we want to have different teams that actually enjoy seeing each other. You can't have teams that almost seem like competition. That's a much bigger issue and a much bigger problem, that why things are happening. And you know, I'm not totally saying Donna Starcar is perfect, but I don't know. I'm not ready to just say she should be out. There's too many problems. Well, since she's been there, I would have loved to see Gabriel Hall in the same situation and the same lapse of time. What would have happened? Did I see the new $5,000 computer? Yeah, the iMac Pro at the WWDC. How many will be sold? If we take the numbers of the Mac Pro, that trash can-like computer, that was even more than 5,000. I think it was like 7,000 or 8,000. From what I know, then they sold like 50,000 of them. So it gives you an idea. 50,000 is a small number for a device. Now that one at 5,000, I would guess it will go at maybe more than 50,000. It's a little less expensive, and it's aimed at a very, very unique market. The high-end market where designers and people that work intensely with their computers need something that not only is powerful, but will do what it wants. So, if they sold 50,000 of those trash cans, I wouldn't be surprised they could sell 100,000 of the $5,000 iMac Pro. It does look nice. A lot of the comments I've seen in many blog posts is, why can't they make an iPad Pro or an iMac Pro at say $1,999 instead of $5,000? I gotta say, for what it is, it could easily be $2,000 and work. Do you ever have issues with sync between computers? So sign in with the same account, Windows 10. Does Internet Explorer 11 still sync? I believe Internet Explorer 11 is a browser that is not meant to sync anything, which means if you have favorites or things that you're doing in Internet Explorer 11, they will not sync across devices. IE 11 is not meant to sync. Only Microsoft Edge is meant to sync. So if you don't see IE 11 sync, I think it's totally normal. What makes others sync, like Chrome and Opera, is a Gmail account, not the Windows 10 sync feature. But IE 11 do not think it syncs. For your last FM totals, that are different on Edge, Firefox, but incorrect on IE 11, Chrome, and Opera. I would just do one thing. Maybe it doesn't refresh the cache. Have you tried just going into IE 11 or Chrome and saying, hey, can you delete temporary files and everything, and go back? And I would not be surprised that their count would be the same. It's more of a browser issue, basically. And you say this started a couple of weeks ago. Maybe something has changed a couple of weeks ago in the browsers. But the ones that you're talking about, Opera, Chrome, and IE 11, that can be a Windows 10 issue. It doesn't have anything to do with, IE 11, Chrome, and Opera are autonomous, and they have very little to do with Windows 10 itself. I do not think Windows 10 is an issue with that. I think the browsers, and Opera and Chrome have the same underneath motor. So basically, the engine running those browsers are actually, syncing by themselves. And because they've been updated recently, both Chrome and Opera might have broken at the same time because the same engine update happened there. I would try a delete the cache and everything, and see if it fixes that. Eye contrast mode will probably remove Fluent Design, because Fluent Design is meant to work in a normal Windows environment. So if you activate high contrast and stuff like that, it disables everything that's like Fluent Design and all of these extras, and it only focuses on making things look, and the team is the one that is from that setting. The Fluent Design doesn't show up anymore. So I would think that the Fluent Design will not show up in a high contrast mode. As for say most of the Windows 10 apps show up with dark theme, the exception Facebook and Instagram apps. Original Facebook app in Windows 8.1 and the first version of Windows 10 did show up in dark theme. Why don't these apps abide with the dark theme? Dark theme is enabled app by app. It's really an app by app thing. So if the dark theme is not in an app, it's because the creator of the app didn't implement it. For some reason, maybe they did something. Because the dark theme is really enabled app by app. It's not a switch in Windows that you say, hey, dark theme everywhere. It's a dark theme everywhere when it's available, but if it's not available, it's not there. And on the Facebook app, you'd have to go to the Facebook settings in the Facebook app itself and see if it exists. So you see, I've had various issues, mainly with the anniversary update, and have had much nicer update experience. Would I still be waiting if I didn't force it? I don't know. It's there's still a lot of people that don't have the creators update yet, so it would be possible you'd be waiting for it. Like it'd be possible that maybe it would have showed up now somehow on your system, and you say that you really like your new show ideas, including the good news, bad news, and all of that, and that you miss Learn the Tech. And Learn the Tech was actually an interesting show, of course, because even I learned from Learn the Tech, because when I was doing a Learn the Tech, I would learn stuff as I was creating the show, which was kind of interesting. I would need someone to take care of here's the Learn the Tech stuff for this week, and I need to the problem with Learn the Tech it's not so much that it's because a lot of people are saying, well, the number of subjects are limited. No, not really. If you really think a lot and Learn the Tech and go more into deep into subjects, there's unlimited resource of Learn the Tech subjects. But thing is, they are very, very long to prepare, which is something I don't have a lot. I don't have a lot of time to concentrate on that. And for the rest of WWDC announcement, kind of a boring. Once again, a boring Apple. Apple is not interesting. Apple is kind of in a mode where they don't seem to be very the only thing I would say is that Siri speaker, but the thing is of that Siri speaker is the fact that it's not really a Siri speaker, it's just a speaker. As Siri itself, think about it, the demonstration that they made at WWDC of that HomePod, the only thing they talked about is the sound quality. The only thing that pretty much everybody says is the sound quality. And basically, not a lot of Siri stuff. And Siri can't control your music much. She can't do anything. Apart from that, refresh of devices, iOS 11, kind of nothing extraordinary in there. Mac questions. One of them from a regular viewer and contributor, Atawahinta, says that she says that her Mac has a utility called Clean My Mac 3 on it, and she says it seems to be a useful program and compares to CCleaner on PCs. But every once in a while, once a day at most, I get a message from Clean My Mac that I have a non-responsive program called NP LastPass. I have a choice to force quit or ignore forever or just for a while. No matter what I choose, even the force quit makes no difference to any of my activities on the Mac. It is as if this program doesn't matter. No program called NP LastPass is listed anywhere in Finder. It is also not listed in the programs which I can uninstall from Clean My Mac. Not critical, but it doesn't affect anything. But I was wondering if I know what this program and where it's come from. So NP LastPass is an extension that you have in a browser. So in Safari or Chrome, you have an extension that is the LastPass extension. LastPass is that extension where you can actually use, it's a password aggregator basically. It lets you log in to websites by remembering for you the different passwords and stuff. It's kind of a helpful thing if you have 50 passwords of 50 different things you do. You don't have to remember everything all the time. So it's a add-on that you have either in Safari or in Google Chrome if you use Chrome on your Mac. So it's through the browser that you would see the extensions, and through the browser you could remove it. So if you don't use LastPass password manager, that's why you don't see anything and any problems, because you're not using it. So check in your browser. The browser will have it. One other thing that you can try out is go to the so you say the Finder doesn't find it, but Finder doesn't find everything. It doesn't find certain things. You can also maybe try nplastpass.app app extension and see if it finds it somewhere. You can even remove it from there. But go into either Safari or your Chrome options. Look for extensions, and you should see LastPass extension is there. If it's in Chrome, you have a trash can. You can remove it from there and just remove it from the browser. But it's a browser add-on. It's nothing bad. It's just that it's a problem. It's a problem. That is well known, because I saw that even the LastPass website deals with the fact that NP LastPass app freezes all the time. Other questions? I hope I answered your question, my friend, and thanks for your support. A question that comes from just find back where we are. Okay, somebody called Vergon 6. Probably a Vergon 6 tells me something. I saw your that name, and I was like, Vergon 6, in what TV show, or is it like Star Trek or something? Anyway, so you must be a fan of some kind of sci-fi show, I'm sure. So basically, you have questions about your Mac. Office. You say that Office 2011 will cease to work on High Sierra. And that you've heard that through my news bulletin, and you say, okay, I'm using Office 2011, and some questions come to mind. So first of all, do I really need to go to High Sierra on my Mac when it's out? No, you don't have to do it right away, and your Mac OS Sierra will continue working for several years to come without that update to High Sierra. That said, if you do move to High Sierra, and it's one of your questions, if you're not doing some really heavy stuff in Excel and Word and PowerPoint, if you don't, exchange files too much with other people, you might actually be able to work with LibreOffice, which is available for Mac also. So LibreOffice could be a choice that you can try. And anyways, Office 2011, okay, just to let you know, even if you don't upgrade to High Sierra, support's ending in October this year. That means after October, you're not getting security updates for Office 2011. That means that your Office 2011 will be insecure to use after several months after that. So, think about it. Depending on what you do, maybe you move to LibreOffice. And finally, you say, if I do move, how can I know if my computer can move on to iSierra? I am at macOS Sierra right now. It will. What Apple said at the WWDC event is all existing Macs running macOS Sierra will upgrade to iSierra. So that means every Mac that supports Max Sierra right now, Sierra OS is going to be on High Sierra also. So you don't have to worry about that. You're gonna go to iSierra. Before we go to the chat room, a few things I want to add. Steve Martin was talking about a weird thing when he was updating his Windows Insider to version 16.215, and he was wondering how, normally goes to 100%, and he says now it stopped at 50%, and asked for you to restart. And he says, I thought it was going to work, but it continued and finished and worked okay. So he finds it strange. I did notice in the past 2 updates something similar. Mine was not 50%, but at some point I was like at 70 or 72%, and it's like, boop, restarted, and I'm installed. And I think it has to do with the fact that we're in the Universal Update Platform app. So only part of the system needs to be updated. So maybe that's why you're not going to 100%. That 50 to 100 is maybe for people that were farther behind, for example, in their build. And because yours was at the latest build, it didn't need to go to 100%. I think it's really, because of the Universal Update Platform. And I did see something similar that surprised me at some point, Steve, personally. So the important thing is it works. Doug Stevens, that is very, very happy in Plymouth, Devon, England, says that so he had a lot of problems installing Creators Update. He didn't want to install it, and he tried so many times. So he says he decided to follow my wonderful series of clean install Windows 10 Creators Update, part 1 to 5 included. So of course I did a multi-part clean install of Windows 10 Creators Update. And of course that was a great test, because one of the things that's difficult is you create a series, but how will somebody be able to follow the instructions and they will actually work? And it's cool because he says he followed on his iPad, and he says followed your great narrative and instructions word for word, action by action. Result, success, success. Thank you very much. Your Wonder series certainly done the trick. My sincere thanks. So it's nice to see that my series enabled you to actually clean install with Creators Update, and that you're happy to have it now working. And it's really cool, because that means my series is probably good. It's probably good enough to explain to everybody. So if you're wondering, can I, how to do a clean install, just follow my 5-part series, because it's apparently really working for sure. I have Viper Boy Tommy that also first wants to say hello to everybody. I will not show Tommy the pictures you've sent me, because they are, I think a lot of people will be a little sensitive on the type of picture. He sends me a picture of his operation and everything. If some of you want to see it, I can send you the pictures, but It is something. It is something. And if you're faint of heart, it's a little difficult to watch. So I wanted to share this and show me, and try to show us, everything that they've done and what happened. Also, what do we have here? I'm just gonna check it out here. He says, first off, I have set a reminder to Cortana of something without getting technical. Anyways, it would pop up from notifications since May 31st, and when I came home from the hospital, my surgery of my armpit, it quit working. Was working up to May 25th, day before I had surgery. So any tips to try and all to get it back working? It's really annoying not working. So I do believe everything is set up right since it was working up to May 25th. You know what? One of the things I would check is make sure you haven't set up the notification to only have 1 month. Because maybe what happened is you set up a reminder, and it set up the reminders for the month of May. You went into June, and the reminders maybe for June are not there. Maybe you just did it for a month. Also, the only other thing that I would check for reminders like that is, I would simply recreate with Cortana the reminder again. I think that's the best you can do. But make sure it wasn't just for the month of May, and then when you went into June, it wasn't working anymore because it wasn't meant to give you notifications after the month of May. We have a message from the police junkie. Says, hi there, just wanted to see if you could help me with a problem I am having. So I want to use Cortana, and when I click on enable Cortana, it does not enable it. It's like if I had never clicked on it. So you say Cortana doesn't work at all. Are you sure? What I would check mostly is if you're set up right with the correct language and language packs. In Cortana, there are several things that need to be right in order for Cortana to work. And one of them is to make sure that you have the correct language packs installed, and especially the voice packs, because she uses voices from the language packs. So make sure that you have, for example, US English. I don't know where you're located, but like US English, well, you have the language packs installed, everything in there. Also, make sure that you don't have a third-party antivirus that has maybe a firewall that blocks Cortana from accessing the internet. It's not impossible. There's a few things like that you might want to check in your settings. Apart from that, I don't know. It's make sure that everything's set up right with the microphone. Make sure the microphone, when you right click in the system tray on your speaker icon, make sure your microphone is set up, and when you talk you can see the little voice level go up and down. And if it doesn't, then there could be something there. That it could be a microphone that has a problem. Maybe your microphone settings are not high enough. So maybe sometimes some microphones need a microphone boost amp to actually work. So you need to put the sliders higher. Make sure all of that is set up also, and make sure that you're set up in the language and in a area where Cortana is working, because there are some places in some languages, if your Windows is not in English, it could be that Cortana is not available where you are. Cortana is not available in a lot of markets, a lot of different languages. So you gotta know that. So for sure. Roger says, having difficulties while updating the newest update that were released during today's Patch Tuesday. There were some problems installing updates, but we'll try again later. If you keep seeing this, just search, okay? I was installing the updates and it just stopped during the install, and after reboot I had started receiving that message. I used the Windows Fix-It tool, that you can actually use, and the Windows Update tool is available, and that could fix it. Could be just a file that's corrupted in the Windows Update. The other thing you can do is, pretty much all the time it works. If you have a problem with Windows Update, you go and use the Microsoft Update Catalog page. There you can download the update manually and install it manually. So that's something you can actually use also. So if one doesn't work, the other one usually does work. But by using the Fix-It tool from Windows 10 to the Windows Update problems, it might actually work, because what it's gonna do generally is remove every file there and re-download the update correctly. So that could be something to check for. And or else, while you have just type the update, the KB number of the update, and after in Google, just type Microsoft Update Catalog, and it's going to give you the update that you can manually download and click the file to install it directly. That often works when the Windows Update fails in itself. You are watching the Tech Show, and hope you are enjoying our show today. Hello chat room. Hello chat room. How are you, everyone? Steve, hello there. Tim Robinson, Patrick Manny, the Police Junkie, David Walker. We have Bobby Burgess. We have Stephen Mail. We have what do we have? Region not supported, Portugal. That's the thing. So Portugal does not have Cortana. That's why you can't enable it. Cortana is only in certain markets, in certain specific languages. Sheriff's House, hello there. Douglas Elliott, hello there. What else do we have? So Miss Lady Catherine, hello there. Nice to have you here. And pretty cool to have everybody here. If I missed anybody, say hello, please. And it's nice to have you here. Hey, Josh K, nice to have you here. Christine Bowman, hello there. Nice to have you here. Alexander Herrick, hello there. Henry Bob Swillinkers, hello there. First time, and I did sub you. So I like what I see so far. Thank you very much. Nice to have you here. So pretty cool. Firefox 54 came out today. Cool, Steve. I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna update my Firefox. Marty C, hello there. Nice to have you here. 93 degrees in Boston, Massachusetts. Feel your pain? Yeah, it's a little cooler now today. So you guys should have it cooler maybe tomorrow, because a cool front's passing today. So yesterday and the day before. We had like 30 plus degrees, 90. We had 90s, which is way too warm for me. It's cool when you go to the beach. I want to have 90 when I'm at the beach, but I do not want to have 90 when I'm at home. But today is better. Today is it's a little warm here, but it's acceptable. It's acceptable, and so it's not too bad. Tim Brennan, hello there. Nice to have you here, by the way. Hey, no problem, Police Junkie. Yeah, anybody that has in a market that Cortana doesn't work, change your Windows 10 a language to US English, and make sure you download the English language packs, and it's gonna work, even if you're not in. At least you'll have it working in English. But a lot of markets and a lot of languages don't have Cortana support yet. Steve Oberhammer, hello there. Nice to have you here. Pretty cool to see everybody. I hope everybody is quite all right. And raining in Utah. Here it's sunny. Pretty nice. We had a big thunderstorm yesterday morning, and you guys should have seen it. It was really, really funny, because Paul the cat wanted to go outside at 4 a.m., which I did, let him go out. And so I went to bed. and then I got woken up by like this really powerful thunder strike. You know, it was really loud, and it, you know, surprised me. I was seeing the lightning outside, and it was pouring rain, but really, really bad. And you know, an hour earlier, the sky, I would see the stars. I didn't even think that it would rain. So when I opened the door and I called on Paul, you should have seen the guy. He was actually under the shed in the backyard, you know, hiding from the rain. But when he heard my voice, he ran like hell and went up the stairs to come inside. He was like, "Oh man!" But you know what? It was kind of a very, very nice. You know, I like that. I don't know why, and I don't know why. Also, you know, at 5:30 in the morning, you know, it was really, you know, gray, dark gray, because here at 5:30 in the morning at this time of year it's sunny. Sun rises at like, you know, 5 a.m. and but there was something nice to it. It was like, wow, it's and you know, the lightning flashes everywhere. And it was like, well, it is kind of nice, you know. But and talking thunderstorms, you know what? And it's a little related to tech, by the way. I was reading an article about oh man, who is he? It's the CEO of, oh God, the CEO of what company? I'm trying to remember what company, but I don't. So the CEO of one of the tech companies, he was in his office, and I didn't even think it was possible. He was looking outside his office window, and there was a huge thunderstorm coming through, and the guy got hit by lightning through the window of his office. Lightning just passed through and hit him. And he was talking how it was just like, you know, how, what he felt and everything, and how he kind of got home, but it was like all, you know, messed up a little bit. He was like really not feeling well. And he looked at his wife and said, you know what, I think I have to go to the hospital. Something's not right. But it makes you think, you know, really, lightning went through the office window. Amazing. Steve Hoberhammer says, with the last creators build, have you noticed any problems with it? I have lots of problems. The main issues that I see is issues with the, and we'll talk, by the way, about it a little more at 6 p.m. Eastern, 2200 UT, on the Windows, the Windows Insider channel. I will be talking about the latest build and everything. So if you guys want to know more about the latest build of Windows 10. I have seen a very big number of people that have not been able to install the latest build 16.2.15. That seems to be the number one issue. The second issue that I see a lot, Wi-Fi not working. No fix for that. You have to go back if you want to have internet. And here, this machine that I have here works on the internet right now because I'm lucky got two Wi-Fi cards. So the AC adapter stopped working after the update here. Driver cannot load, but the N adapter works, so that's why it still works on the internet here. So you know, and there are diverse problems, and you know, it's part of my you know, the fact that you're an insider, you do have, you know, you know, some issues, and basically it's part of being really an insider, basically, unfortunately. But you know, it's to expect also. With the high number of new features comes probably a higher number of problems, I would say. Thanks, Patrick and Tim, for sending me donations. Much appreciated here. And really, really nice. I'll just show the page again for anybody who wants to donate. Really helps me a lot, by the way, guys. So If you guys want to do a little donation in my way to help me out with what I'm doing, you can go to patreon.com/radioandcomputers. But just be very careful, because there's a lot of, if you don't set it up right, it could be a surprising thing. I've had somebody that went really, didn't check right and got $1,000 taken off of his credit card. Well, they tried to take $1,000, but they couldn't. And if you're scared of Patreon, well, PayPal at the Yahoo email you see here, great place. It helps me really a lot. You guys have no idea about it, and I just looked. I just saw the amounts I'm going to receive for AdSense, which is next week, always the 21st of the month, and boy, it's crazy bad. So thanks everybody. It helps me a lot in continuing in what I do, and really love you guys. So, wow, Tim, really? 1 year the wife was struck by lightning. I almost woke her up. Okay. Oh, God. Hey, Sean Robinson, nice to have you here, as usual. Pretty cool. So, what else do we have? Let me just check. So, hey, Cosmic Lettuce, nice to have you here. From fire-stricken southeastern Arizona. Oh, really? Wow. Hope things get better. What else do you have? Yep, 15063.413 is the version that most people have, but there are some people that have .414. It depends on what you have in the version of Windows you got. But for most people, including me, we're supposed to be at 15063.413 with the latest update. So Steve Oberhammer says, no problems with Wi-Fi, working on a laptop, battery not reading correctly, turning off and going into recovery mode. Oh, really? Wow. And it was okay before the update. Make sure to send the a feedback hub comment with that, Steve. The best way you can help the team knowing what issues are in Windows is by sending them a feedback hub comment, for sure. So yeah, sorry to hear about that, Sean. And yep, Patch Tuesday today once again for those that are yeah, I did. Tim, I actually looked and I was like, oh God, and then I saw the ending. I was like, oh yeah, it was a joke. Okay, I kind of realized it was a joke just at the end. Oh man. No, still not, but the post office is not passed yet today, so it might be at the end of the day today. I hope, because I'm getting a little impatient here. Hey, Peter Sargent, nice to have you here. Pretty cool. And yeah, save all your problems and your little problems with the Insider build for the Insider show a little later. And hey, Sheriff's House, hello there. So nice to have everybody on board. Husband Gladys says, lightning in June in the desert is no bueno. Evacuations in the area with no location is safe. Yeah, it's like here, you know, here when we here in Canada, when it gets very hot. Like, you know, we've had 2 days of really warm conditions, but you know, we had so much rain that it's not a problem now. But we have it sometimes happen in July. July is often the month, July, August, the months where sometimes we get, like, you know, for 2 or 3 weeks straight of sunshine and hot weather, and it gets so so dry that any thunderstorms, they just, you know, turn on, they make forest fires. Some years, in the last 10 years, I would say, we've had an unusually high number of forest fires here. Devastated a really big chunk of the forest in the province of Quebec, but in Canada also. Jacqueline McBride says, yep, cumulative update 402.27.25 is the latest update, Jacqueline. You also should have a Flash player update and another cumulative update appear at some point. What's the closest radio station from where I live? If you mean of any kind, there's a medium wave station called, which is a Haitian language or a Haitian community station. And it is, believe it or not, I'd say 30 minutes walking distance from here. You can actually see the loop antenna on top of the building from where they transmit. It's very, very close. Very, very close. But apart from that, the closest stations are pretty much, there's a big antenna transmission tower on Montreal, which is at the center of the city here. Maybe straight line, I'd say 20 kilometers away. And as for the shortwave station, the closest shortwave station to me, it's pretty much WBCQ in Monticello, Maine. That's the closest station, closest shortwave station from here. Apart from maybe, you know, if we take a utility station, CHU Canada Time Signal, that's one's around 100 kilometers west of me. But man, wow, FM station 2 blocks west. That's close. That's really close. So amazing. What else do we have here? Tim Brennan says it's nice in Osawatomie, Kansas. Wow, that's a hard one to pronounce. Steve is in Surrey, BC, so nice to have you on board from British Columbia, fellow Canadian. And I never say it very, very often, but I am located in Montreal, Quebec, Canada. My name is Gilles. So Patrick Manny, WLW. Yeah, I hear WLW from on the medium wave band here in Montreal at night quite easily. So Windows Insider Hour show coming up in an hour and a half, a little more. And well, thank you very much, Polish Junkie. It's nice to have you on board, and you know, it's nice to have everybody and try to help everybody if possible. You know, it's fun to do these shows. Once again, like I said, today was supposed to be the last show before we before the vacation, summer vacation, but finally we'll be back next week for the last show before I go into vacation. So next week, Tech Show and Windows Insider Show. So that's on Tuesday. Tuesday, June 20th, next week, will be the last show. So I'm giving you guys a little bonus show here. So I thought, yeah, why not? And then we'll be back on August 8th with the new format show that I'm slowly designing, which will be, the first hour will be some of the latest news that I want to share about the last week in technology, that the news items that I find interesting that I want to talk about. Then we'll have the questions time, like now, where I answer the questions through email and also the chat. And before I say bye-bye, what I will have is the good news, bad news of the week in technology. It will be bigger. Because before, when I did the good news, bad news, it was always the good news, bad news of Microsoft. And God knows there's a lot of good and bad from Microsoft every week. And basically, we will have technology-wise. So I will, you know, take one news that is good news and take one that I find is really horrible news, and that will end the show with that, and maybe have a little debate about it, you know, and we'll see. And it will be the only show I'll have on Tuesday, so it's probably going to be a little longer than what we do now, because of all of what I'm going to say and do. So it might, you know, make a show that will be a good 2 to 3 hours instead of just an hour and a half. So it's pretty cool. And thank you, Douglas Elliott. So extra show next week, yeah, extra week. I know you guys are going to miss my shows, so I thought, yeah, let's do another one, and then take it easy until August the 8th. Hey there, David Walker. Jane Dagger, hello, welcome aboard. Nice to have you here. Cosmic Lettuce. If I plug the power cord into my laptop, my entire LAN goes down, both wired and Wi-Fi. Any ideas on how to fix that? My solution is don't use the laptop. If you plug the power cord into your laptop, you lose the internet connection. That is something. I would guess that there's some noise issue coming from your power supply that totally messes up the signal, and even you know. So another question I've got is, when you say your entire LAN goes down, if you have other devices, do they still work on the network, or if it's all gone? That's kind of interesting. I'm wondering if your device doesn't have a grounding issue, and when you plug in the power supply, it creates a huge interference within the connection on your PC. Wow. Yeah. Huh, that's an interesting one. Wow. Marty C says you should end shows with the beer of the week. Yeah, like on the Windows Weekly. Actually, that's one thing I want to do, because I've been a little, how to say, I've been kind of, when I started doing live shows, the radio ones, I used to have a different beer every time, because I wanted to go around all the different beers that we can have. And at some point, I just sat down and just started taking the same beer all the time. And you know what? It's something that the other day I was at a big grocery store that have a huge choice of beer, and I was like, man, look at all these beers. I really could have, different beers at every show. I just need to do it, So that could be one. That could be one. But it is a weird wiring issue. And I think the power supply is a problem, or your computer, and there's a grounding issue or something. It's very, very bizarre problem, I can tell you that. It's all gone. That's very, very weird. Is it plugged in the same power outlet? Plug it in another power outlet. If it's plugged in the same power outlet, maybe there's some kind of interference going on. What about plugging it in another power outlet? So even in another room, if you can. Does it still do it? Even on Wi-Fi? That one is kind of weird. With Ethernet jack, I understand that if there's a grounding issue, there could be a return of electricity from your laptop to the router. So it could be that your laptop has an issue with the grounding, or it could be your router that has a problem with the grounding, and there's some kind of feedback going through an electricity with the Ethernet cable. That could happen, but it shouldn't happen on Wi-Fi. If it happens on Wi-Fi, the only thing I can see is, are you plugged in the same power outlet? That is a weird issue. Oh man, Jane Dagger, if I have a beer every time Windows annoys me, I'd be drunk every day. Man. Oh God. I gotta tell you one thing, Tim. Sometimes we drink our 3 beers, me and Gabriel, and we just we've sunk through in the couch while we're doing our from the couch show. It's like, oh man, I don't want to get up. I don't want to get up. Well, one thing, Cosmic Lettuce, if you've got a power supply that's extremely noisy, what could happen with the wired, the wired device, because there is a possibility of wired device interference through the Ethernet cable, but I mean these cables are usually shielded. It's very, very weird. Very, very weird. Very, very weird. That would be nice, Sheriff's House. People can send you a different six-pack every week. Oh, God. Hey, take care, Police Junkie. It was nice to have you on board, by the way. What else do we have here? Different outlet, everything. Wow, that is a weird problem, Cosmic Lettuce. I gotta say. The only other thing I could see is it doesn't have anything to do with the power, but if you run on battery and it's okay, wow. It's as if, it's so weird. This is so weird. This is so weird. Jane Dagger says, want to make Jill laugh so hard, Beat shoots out his nose. Oh, God. One of those powered leg robotics. Yep, yep. Well, I think you've got a power supply that, Cosmic Lettuce, what you're telling me there, I think your power supply has a problem. I think I think it has an issue and you need something else. Did you buy one of those cheap Chinese power supplies? Maybe that's the problem. Maybe you need to get a good original power supply. That's for sure, because it's a very, very bizarre, very, very bizarre problem you got there. Yes, I've been warned, Jane Dagger. If it happens at some point, I'll be thinking of you. For sure. Ah, God. It's very, very weird. I gotta tell you that. Fish and chips. You guys are making me hungry. Actually, I've not had fish and chips in a long time. Now, fish and chips, I don't know if it's the same meaning for England and Canada, though. Because I know you guys in the UK, I think, call fries chips or something like that. So, I don't know, maybe it's not the same. Oh, man. What else do we have here? Yeah, that's what I thought. Tim's wrong. Trim fries are called chips. Here they're called fries. Here chips are a bag of chips as we buy, not fries. Sometimes if you buy the power supplies are made of one of the or laptop, can I have problems with the volts? Yeah. But there's a huge problem with your power supply, that's for sure. For sure. Oh, really, Jane Dagger? You're moving back west? Okay, Bobby, can I go over and eat some spaghetti? I will bring you my famous tomato meatball sauce. What do you think about that, Bobby? Okay, you cook the spaghetti. I will bring you my famous Gilles tomato sauce with meatballs. What do you think about that? Is it a deal? Okay, so you guys call that crisps. So you got a bag of crisps. Well, we get a bag of chips. Hey, Paul Harrison. So, how about we invite everybody over, Bobby? Okay, everybody come over here. Bobby, you bring the spaghetti. I have my famous, tomato sauce with meatballs. and we just have a big, huge party, and meet up with each other. God. Oh, really, Tim? Cool. Says that wife's peg bowl is amazing. You're not alone, Bobby. So, hey guys, I'll take a little break, and I will have a little something to eat, and then we'll be back for the 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 2200 hours UTC show, which will be the Windows Insider Hour. So hope that everybody enjoyed today's show. And come back next week. We're here next week. Next week will be the last week. I'm giving everybody a little extra show because I love you guys. Todd that, yeah. Why not do another one? So thanks everyone. Hope you enjoyed the show. And I will take a little something. And basically we'll have a lot of fun. How do you be a Windows Insider, Jane Dagger? Well, it's just in Windows 10. When you go into Windows Update panel, on the left side there's something called Insider Program, and you can be an insider there. But you need to understand that you might have to reinstall Windows and things like that. So it's not for the faint of heart at all. So thanks to everybody for being here. Windows Insider Hour in an hour and a half, an hour and 25 minutes. Hope you enjoyed. Everybody enjoyed the show. We will be we will be live, and of course from the couch on Thursday. This time, hopefully, no power outage. We'll be here at 4 p.m. for the last from the couch for a long time. How long, I don't know, but it's not coming back in August for sure. And for those that are here only in Tuesdays, take care, everybody. And see you next Tuesday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 1900 UTC. Love you all. Take care. Bye.